Now keep in mind, physicians are taught that drugs are dangerous and large doses of anything are dangerous. And so I looked at that. I knew Dr. Reardon I trusted him. I saw him prescribe it to a number of people. It was there in the store. I looked at those 8 capsules and I thought to myself, I hope I don't die. And I took them. And I didn't. But I tell that story to let people know that when you approach a physician who has no experience, and it's hard to believe, but there are physicians who live in pretty sheltered lives as far as nutritional therapies, that to them is a scary dose. So we're in a room here where everyone knows about high dose vitamin C, but when you're talking with your patient, you kind of have to begin to try to understand it from their perspective, and sometimes going up slowly is not a bad idea.
And the point should be finished with this comment to answer the question completely. Dividing the dose is absolutely essential. It's called Dynamic Flow by Dr. Steve Hickey and Dr. Hillary Roberts. And if you have vitamin C in very, very, very frequent doses, oral doses are remarkably effective. My story to counter Ron's, anything you can quote, I can quote another one. We also went into the Orthomolecular Hall of Fame at the same banquet, and Ron's still upset that he didn't go in first. At any rate, when we're talking about dividing the dose, I had viral pneumonia a number of years ago, and it was really pretty serious. I had a friend who was an internist, and he said, you have viral pneumonia, both lungs, you're very sick, here's an antibiotic. And I said, he said, no, that's for the secondary infection. We can't do anything about the virus, but this is for anything that might be bacterial. Go home, stay in bed, here's some codeine cough medicine. Just have good care at home. Well, all right. So I decided I had to do something. So while playing Scrabble with my wife one day, I figured Dr. Cathcart worked for my daughter, maybe it'll work for me. So I took 2,000 milligrams of vitamin C every 6 minutes during a Scrabble game. What's that, 20,000 milligrams an hour? After 3 hours, or 60,000 milligrams, my cough stopped, my fever came down to 3 degrees in 3 hours. And I thought, wow, I've discovered something great and true and new. And then I read Dr. Cathcart more, and then I read Dr. Quenner, who was ahead of him by 20 years, and they had done exactly the same thing. And when I read Dr. Quenner now, it's just like what I and you have been told and what I and you have already seen. Anything that stands the test of time, it's worth keeping in mind. So divide that dose. Water-soluble vitamins in general, you divide the dose. Vitamin C in particular. You do the best you can. When you're sick, I think you should literally take it constantly.
This is an interesting question that I think a patient would probably ask, having heard this. They would say, can you take vitamin C to bowel tolerance to treat diarrhea?
If the diarrhea is caused by a virus, yes.
Yeah.
So paradoxically, if someone has the stomach flu or whatever it is, if they take more C, it will go away. The simple test here, of course, is to try it and see. If you take more vitamin C and it goes away, then you're all set. Now, if you take more vitamin C and for any reason it gets worse, knock it off.